our ongoing efforts and activities in exposing and monitoring the disinformation are not focused only on our part, on one actor. We are doing this exercise regularly, almost every day, through the dedicated website, www.eu-disinfo.eu. And apart from almost everyday examples and exposures, we are publishing regular overviews, snapshot overviews. And in them, we are trying to offer as complete and as comprehensive picture as possible, saying what we have observed in a trend and actors. So it's never only one actor. I mean, disinformation is a field where various actors are engaged, and we are capturing and exposing those who are out there in the public domain, because we are working with the open sources. So this is more probably on the procedure. So there are many actors involved in disinformation, and it's not only one of them, and they are being named, I think, quite transparently in our regular findings published on this website. Now, if you are asking about what else are we doing, the EAS actually, who has the mandate to engage on the field of countering the disinformation, the mandate and the task actually says that one of the main tasks is to monitor and document and publish the cases of disinformation. And the aim here is to raise awareness. To expose someone publicly means showing we know what you are doing, we know how you are doing it. So we raise awareness both for the audiences, for the public, to be aware that this is circulating around, this is going on. Also including the methods and platforms and outlets, how it's being spread. And at the same time, we are trying also to show, like, we know what you are doing, all those of you who are engaged in spreading disinformation. So we hope that both prevention and awareness raising is a very effective method in this sense. But then, of course, there is another layer of our activities, and our findings are also exchanged and are feeding into the joint efforts of the member states and also other partners within the G7 or NATO, because, as I said on many occasions already here, when it comes to disinformation, we are facing a huge challenge, and we are facing a joint enemy. Actors in disinformation are aiming at the EU to sow confusion, to spread confusion, to undermine the trust of the public in our societies, in our political system, in our way of life. And this is something we need to expose. And as I said, by exposing, raising awareness, and making people pay attention, and being actually immune towards this. But it's a long-term effort, of course.
Thank you, Peter. Just to say, I do have another question about tourism, but I guess I'll raise my hand when the moment comes to that, just to give you a heads up.
Thank you very much, James. That's helpful to help us organize the press conference. Now, I see other hands raised, I suppose, still on foreign affairs. Athanasios, is your question on foreign affairs?
Yes, it is on foreign affairs, and it's on disinformation for Peter. Actually, a follow-up. He mentioned prevention, but the enemy's been there since 2008 for obvious reasons. We've been aware since 2016, but we talk about prevention and we don't talk about deterrence. And in the past, deterrence actually worked. I don't want to make an analogy with nuclear deterrence back in the 60s and the 70s, but it actually worked. They feared that you could retaliate and do the same, and nobody wins in the end. In this case, the one party can do whatever they want, and the European Union, the Western world, cannot do anything at all. So are we, let's say, thinking about deterrence in the future concerning this very issue, the issue of disinformation? Thanks.
Thank you. Two factual corrections. Actually, our active efforts based on the mandate and task from the EU member states are ongoing since 2015 in this organized form. So it's not only since, as you said, since a few years. And the second thing, it's not true that we are not doing anything at all, because the very existence of our dedicated units, dedicated website, and all what is in place already among the member states within the EU, but also with other partners like NATO or G7, indicates that we are actually dealing with this very seriously. Again, what you raised is also subject of ongoing discussions, because this is never complete process. You know, disinformation is also evolving, so this is an ongoing process also how to counter it. One good explanation, or one good example how seriously we are taking it, apart from all the council conclusions and all the tasking that has been done already since 2015 on this, the video conference of the Ministers of Foreign Affairs at the start of April. There was agenda with 3 points only. One of them was disinformation. And their ministers expressed very clearly their concerns and their determination to continue finding the most effective ways how to counter this huge challenge for the European Union. So this is an ongoing effort, and the discussions are fed with best examples, with experiences, with practices, and with everything what we are doing and experiencing in this field, because this is a multi-layered effort that is really ongoing, basically on the go. That's the nature. So yes, we are dealing with it, and at this stage we are doing what we think is the most effective at this stage, and that's raising awareness, because as long as people will be aware that there are disinformation around and who is spreading them and how, then they will be maybe more vigilant in how they read what they see or hear or consume, and how they work with the sources and how they question critically. So this is the point of media literacy of the population. So awareness is part of the prevention.
Okay, I have other hands raised, I suppose, on external affairs. David Carretta.
Oui, bonjour, merci Eric.
Bonjour.
Deux follow-up sur cette question, si je peux. The first one, Peter, you mentioned a joint enemy. Would you say that Russia and China are joint enemies for the EU, since they are quite active? We are talking about state actors, not just non-state actors in this field. And the second question, Peter, could you remind us how many EU officials work for the East Stratcom, and what is its budget? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. On the first one, when I said enemy, I said disinformation is our common enemy. So the common enemy for all of us in this part of the world is the disinformation and the dangerous effect it can have or it has on our societies, on our people. So that's the enemy. On the Stratcom, the numbers, I will come back to you later on so that I can offer you the updated numbers we have on this.
Can I have a brief follow-up?
Sure, go ahead.
Yes, you are saying that one of your main activity is raise awareness. But if I remember well, the website is mainly in English, and the majority of people around Europe do not understand what is written in the website. So how could you raise awareness with the just English website?
Again, maybe a factual correction. I mean, as far as I know, actually a lot of people all around Europe understand English, but I get your point, of course. And this is part of the ongoing efforts, how to make our work available to more and more people. And not so long ago, when we were discussing also this issue of disinformation, I also said that this is an effort for all of us, where every one of us has a role. The officials, the institutions, member states, the ministries, individual ministries, authorities in the countries, but also you as media, journalists, because you are multipliers. There is also a huge part to play from the civil society. In fact, we are working together also with fact-checkers, not only in European Union, to work jointly, to join our efforts, because, as I said, there is a role for everyone in this joint undertaking facing the joint challenge. So on the language issue, as I said, ongoing efforts. We are looking into possibilities how to make it more available. But I think it's being made available through this network of cooperation we have with media who are taking over, who are actually reporting based on our findings, which are published regularly, through civil society, fact checkers, etc., etc. So there is a strong multiplication effect. And just to recall also the cooperation with member states, we are exchanging with member states. So that's another channel of having the information delivered to the local audiences in a tailor-made way. So you can take us and our website as some kind of like hub or one of the main like centralized or Europeanized platforms. But then this platform is feeding into the local markets and into the local audiences in the member states and beyond to reach the audiences who might not understand English.